Hey guys, and welcome to my new indie devlog for my new game, The Architect. The Architect is a huge mishmash of genres, but it can mostly be described as a 2D Pikmin city builder Metroidvania farming game. Sound too ambitious? Yeah, it probably is. My idea for the game is that you play as this little humanoid alien known only as the Architect. You're sent by this mysterious alien spaceship to essentially clean up this dirty planet where all of the creatures used to live in this utopia of a city, but they essentially destroyed the environment because of their wastefulness. I hope it's not too on the nose. You were basically sent to teach them how to clean up their ways, bring them sustainable energy technology, and help revitalize their utopia. The gameplay itself is kind of complex to explain, which I'm hoping is a good thing, but I'm not totally sure. You're building the creatures a city for themselves, tearing down old structures and harvesting their materials to make new structures, but it's all in a 2D platforming type environment. I hope it sounds simple so far. The catch is that you have to use the creatures themselves to do all the work for you. This means you actually are constantly swapping between playing as the creatures themselves and playing as the Architect. The Architect collects the creatures that are kind of roaming the wasteland with nothing to do, and gives them jobs as well as guides them in the rebuilding of their city. I would say my biggest influences for this project are Stardew Valley, Rain World, and Hollow Knight. I love that these were all made by small teams, but they are, in my opinion, some of the best games ever made. Also, those developers in particular are super humble, and I really give my props to them for not being huge egomaniacs like so many in the industry are, believe it or not. The game is definitely my most ambitious project, as it incorporates so many different features. It has a farming aspect, tons of unique creatures with their own abilities, a city building aspect, platforming, and exploration. I'm not 100% sure if the game will be a hit or not, and doubts fill my mind every day about it. But I've committed myself. I will not start another project. I plan to go as hard as possible with this one, and if it isn't good at first, I plan to make it good. I do feel a little overwhelmed with it right now, but I'm hoping that will subside over time. For my tools, I'm using Unity for the game engine, and Affinity Designer for the art, which is vector-based. I also use Unity Anima 2D for the animations, and I code in C#. I've been using Anima 2D since it first came out as an independent asset on the Asset Store by Sergi for Mandarina Games, and I really recommend it, especially since it's free, integrates directly with Unity, and is super fun and easy to use. So I've been working on this game for about 6 months now, but it hasn't really been full time. To be honest, it's been a huge struggle for me since day one. First, I was working a contract job for a friend of mine who has a small game company. The pay was very generous, but I felt myself totally torn in half and burnt out. I really wanted to make my game. I decided I'd dedicate a half an hour a day to the development of the game at first. If that sounds like not that much and there's no way that would get in the way of my contract job, you'd be mistaken. I actually found myself with serious eye strain from working too much, and yet I was only logging a couple hours per day of actual labor on the contract job. I began comparing myself to other developers who had it easier than me. I was feeling pretty down. Eventually I did what I could to move away from the contract job, much to the chagrin of my friend who really didn't want to have to change developers again, which I totally understood. But I couldn't do it anymore. Although I've been working on this version of the game for only 6 months, in reality, I've actually had like 5 different iterations of this game, and this is only the newest one. In total, it's been about 2 years since the inception of the idea. This time, I do believe it will be different, because I'm committed to never starting a new project until this one is complete. which probably will be like 5 years. Anyway, enough of my background. When will this game be done? To be honest, I'm not totally sure, as I've never made a game with so many features before, but I am planning on early access this fall so people can start tearing into it and give me even more direction with it. For the early access version, I plan to have the land biome completed. I would like to have an underwater biome later on, and maybe even some other types like a sky biome. Really, the sky's the limit, which is what I enjoy about this game. All in all, I am feeling very excited about my game. Nervous, anxious, and excited. I feel like I've finally kind of hit my stride after bouncing around from project to project for the past 5 years. I really want to just work on one big project that I can keep adding new and exciting features to over time. Thanks for watching this devlog. I plan to start releasing one every Wednesday as a way to keep myself motivated and engaged for the development of this game. Until next time.